our infamous that was did Alex Trebek, it was speculation on whether or not
Sajak.
Pat Sajak, sorry. It was whether or not Pat Sajak and Vanna White you just finished this the sketch, right? Dead last was crickets.
Yeah. Not a problem though. Crickets were under 0.
Crickets.
You want to get some cricket sounds? Is that what you're looking for?
Oh, crickets. This is from the CDC. It says violence by an intimate partner. The prevalence of rape. When I was a kid, I wondered this very same thing because I was like 7 years old, and I saw at the grocery store, my local grocery store. He explained to me that I asked this again. I think I was too young at the time, but I asked this again from a friend who worked at a grocery store, and they said because for several reasons. First of all, that the food that you give to homeless people, because when a lot of the women I'd hooked up with, sensitive nipples, sensitive vagina, sensitive clit. Some women have really sensitive nipples, sensitive vagina, sensitive clit, but you have to.
I went on an internet date with someone who works at Harry's.
Did you really?
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he works in some kind of like part of the computer science-y part of it.
That's like I would imagine most of Harry's is just like a big computer science factory. Like there's two parts of Harry's: the IT part and then the factory. That's it.
Yeah.
Did he give you a discount with our promo code?
No.
Was he smoothly shaved?
I didn't like him. I don't know.
Biggest
I
problem?
was distracted. He immediately said that having children destroys a woman's body.
Okay.
Unprompted.
Okay. They know it. You don't need to tell them. They already know that.
Yeah.
And why are you saying this 10 minutes
news.
into a date? And then some other fucked up shit. So.
All right.
That was like your first date conversation. Like, so what do you do? And then he's like, having a baby just wrecks your vagina.
He said destroys a woman's
The whole body, not just...
and
your
then
body.
I said, because I couldn't believe you just said that. So then in a joking voice, I was like, yeah, once a woman has a couple of kids, just throw her in the trash, right? And he was just like, yeah. And he couldn't tell if I was joking or not. And then I was like, you're not smart enough to go out with.
Yeah. You dodged a bullet there, Robin.
They make a great blade, though.
Yeah, great blade, great product, bad dates. Thank you for supporting us.
Our biggest problem.
The fact that he's not smooth with women just shows how dedicated he is to his job.
You have to be smooth with your face if you're not smooth with women. You got to make it's one or the other. You got to compensate, guys.
Every guest tries to ruin the ads.
Yeah.
Every single
How is that
one.
ruining it?
Robin,
Robin,
it
to the product.
is perfect.
you don't ever want to associate the brand with the negative thought.
All right, I take all that stuff back.
No, don't take it
That was
back.
a great-
Don't
He's
take
my
it back.
husband.
You already said it. Don't take it back.
I
No,
love
we're kidding.
him.
This is great. All right, guys. I got the real biggest problem in the universe this week. In around the 90s, the late 80s, early 90s, they started changing their tack with their advertisement. Here's the TV spot from 1980. You're not even they don't even know the extent to which that people are injuring themselves from Q-tips. Thanks, Cody. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Oh wait, I thought of just like a
at-risk teens, at-risk children, and ear infections, and burn, like cut ear, and cute, and the little ends, the tips, dick fuck. It's not.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've never mind. I'm not
What?
gonna make that joke.
My email address is old enough to drink now. I knew how to do that I knew how to do that blind.
Just put cash into it, get smarter and better.
Right? I saw this Reddit thread of this guy on Sims. He said he had really hot Sims who mated, and the child that they had was really ugly. So he gave up the child for adoption, and then had another kid, and the kid was really hot, and then the child came home from school with the kid that they gave up for adoption as their friend, as her friend. Yeah. Sims drama.
Sims, such a painful Greek tragedy that is the Sims daily life.
So this Korean couple, they'd go to internet. I've been if they truthers, all the
Catholics. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
when I'm curious.
132.
I'm curious when because this didn't exist when I was doing the research for my book, and I even checked a few months ago, and this wasn't. This didn't exist. Yeah. Dick, you don't know ethics or empathy, or any kind of anyway. You don't know ethics or empathy. The research on I don't these are the problems we discussed last week. Everyone agreed it. And you work in that industry, right? In that I sent in some game reviews. So that's a huge number, and also. And for them to abuse that authority is an egregious travesty, because and some of that may have to do with so much that goes into this is
you had a good
ingrained.
stop. Yeah,
I know.
And then
but
you pushed it.
Well, here's I took a class in I think he's a professor, a sociologist. His name is John Ogbu. Are you familiar with his work? John Ogbu, I highly recommend everyone read this guy's work. It's pretty telling. It's pretty informative.
Ultimately, like, that's not my job.
Could I would like to add something here. I always thought of myself as being
obviously a long list.
Obviously not.
Yeah, let's go. Let's hear it.
I don't have time for all the positive adjectives here. It's only an hour and a half show. But I always thought of myself as not as someone who wasn't racist and had no prejudices, et cetera, et cetera. Here's what I recommend for people, because I noticed something strange about myself the first time I went to New Orleans. I went to the French Quarter, and there were some areas I went to that were predominantly black. I walked into some strip clubs and restaurants where almost everyone in the entire place was black, and I felt something strange that I had never felt before. It was a sense of being surrounded, and I don't know what that is or where it came from. I know.
Let me give you an orange card.
I'm taking this orange card. I know how
bad.
it sounds and I know how it feels. But that's when I had this moment of realization that, oh my God, this is what black people must feel like all the time. If they walk, at least at some point
is
before
that
they're
true? No. Okay.
No. Well,
I mean,
weird.
So when I was a kid, it would be like I never grew up around strictly black people. It was always a diverse group. Like me and my friends looked like a Benetton ad. It was just very diverse.
What is it? What product is that? Is that like a black hair product?
It's old clothes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, Denzel, thank you. That was a fascinating problem. Thank you for bringing that in. Wallets are bullshit, guys. Did you guys know that the word wallet? Holy shit, Sean.
Oh, shit.
Sean,
Okay.
do you feel like you're surrounded here? With all these minorities?
It just
You're
takes
the only
one.
white guy. Oh.
You know, what I meant to say about being surrounded, I wanted to say to anyone white, just go try it. See how it makes you feel. Just see
if you
how
feel
it makes
surrounded.
you feel. I don't know.
Seeing one makes them frightened, I would hate to see what them in a crowd of black people.
It made me. It was the first time that ever happened to me, Denzel, and so just personally, I felt out of place, and I felt like maybe I shouldn't be here. And but it wasn't the case at all. Everyone in New Orleans, super hospitable, super friendly, the nicest people I've ever met. And I say that sincerely. And I've traveled a lot in the world. They're the nicest people I've ever met. New Orleans.
So fancy.
Let me just break in.
Put your cash in a different pocket. Always reach your cash when you need it. You never need your cash and credit card at the same time.
I'll add it afterwards.
Okay, I just want to say, look, man. Ideally, let's. I'm sorry. Let's just hear what you got to say.
Do you have if it is millennials, do you have a problem with that? If it's
I don't know.
specifically
This has been
millennials?
happening a lot.
Yeah, here's the problem. Well, hold on here. I've got, first of all, the stats that you might bring in are wrong.
Well, to be fair, he did let you speak for 3 seconds.
It's pretty good. You
Yeah.
should time it.
Go on.
I'm just going to show you a graph here.
It's a huge bummer.
Well, it's serious, but this is your cultural imperialism here, because you're
That's
basing
all the
this.
show is. Oh, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
You're basing this on, unless you are independent and unless you go out into the world, you will be stilted. You will look. Smooth seas don't make a good sailor. So what's kind of weird that we
and painless returns. There you go.
One of the other nice things about a Casper, because now I've had 2 Casper mattresses in my life, is the bed is so stable and so comfortable that if you don't necessarily have the money for like a super nice box spring, if you put it on like a hardwood floor, it actually just feels super duper comfortable.
It's great.
And my buddy who moved and had to move again, so we had to return his Casper mattress. The return could not have been easier.
Super convenient.
Yeah. Goodwill came the next day, picked up the mattress, gave him a receipt. He got his money back right away.
All right. It was like a 5-minute ad. Everybody calm down about Casper.
Casper, thank you for their back pain disappeared. And it's not to say that all back pain.
Let's see here. Want to hear some more voicemails?
Yeah.
No, just a couple.
Fan fail, isn't it?
Yeah, it's probably because all the fans love Asterios so much. They just voted his problem up.
Well, slouching, no candy, Randy, no air horns.
We can talk about apples. We can talk about libertarians.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the GOP debate. Blah, 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 blah. I don't want to start any rumors either. I don't like doing that, but I heard he was at some kind of gay thing. Randy. All right.
I'm gonna call the producer Randy. Bravo, Tim Chumps. I got a bid.
Over riding a bicycle.
Yeah. Did you walk to Burning Man?
No, I drove a car to Burning Man. What do you mean? Did I walk to Burning Man?
No. Well, once you got to Burning Man, though, then you didn't walk around. You rode a bike everywhere. At least until a drug maker can market a drug for this as of yet pending epidemic. Really good book, New York Times bestseller.
Yeah.
I've had kids. I remember growing up. The kid. I had a kid in my first grade class. Convey your thoughts succinctly.
Your brain is not finished cooking yet.
No, it's really dangerous to fuck with. Here's the thing. Here's why I don't trust modern medicine that much is because, you know what? Why don't you cure the common cold first, and then we'll believe you a little bit more when it comes to curing minor, minute behavioral disorders, allegedly. They're not able to cure the common cold, yet they've zeroed in on this one tiny little thing that supposedly is affecting people.
So you want a drug that kills all viruses that will ever be?
Yes. It's called nanobots.
No, but the common cold has been afflicting us for centuries.
Yeah, but it's a different virus every time, right?
It does mutate, but there is a common strain within it because they're able to use vaccines for it every year. That's why you have the flu vaccines.
Flu vaccine isn't cold. Flu vaccines are not for cold.
I'm talking about influenza.
Oh, you're talking about influenza? That's not the common cold.
Well, first he said cold, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Influenza's the flu.
But they're a different level of effectiveness every year based on
you're
how
right.
complex the...
Yeah, you're right. So moving on, though, in the U.S., but instead in France, they use the CFT. Okay? Listen to that. Listen to that again. I'm going to repeat that.
I love Madoff, right?
Yeah.
But when you guys hear this...
Hey, Sean, glad you're bringing in a fucking problem, dude. I hope you're bringing in pandas. There's like 3 episodes where you talk shit about pandas.
How hard is it to...
Audio engineer.
How hard is it to press a line on a screen?
Sorry, man. That was my feet.
Why are you pawing at it like a cat? You know how a touch screen works.
No, I don't.
It's a precision touch.
No, I use laptops, all right? And just chill out.
Well, you're playing that thing like Ray Charles, though, like getting your entire
okay,
finger
but Ray
like
Charles
a blind
is a
person
legend.
feeling
Is
around.
Ray Charles not a legend?
Yeah, but Ray Charles can't use a touch screen. That's the point.
Come on, don't say that. He can do that.
Go ahead.
Look,
I'm sorry I'm being a hater.
That's right. You being a hater right now.
I'm being a hater.
I want the fam, if you're going to give into the hate, then give into this. When the fam hear this.
Madoff, you's a bitch.
I want y'all to comment on the page and say, Madoff, you's a bitch.
So Dick, a buddy of mine, his name is Michael Cabes.
How many colon cancers are there?
There's got to be at least a handful.
Or a buttload of them, you might say.
You could say colon cancers are a handful. Yeah, there's a buttload. That's funny.
All right.
Haters made a surprise rally in the last minute, and then pretty close actually. Ironically enough, after taking that shit for 6 months, use is an abbreviation of what, a contraction of what 2 words?
I think he thinks
I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Hey, that's just an excuse. What the fuck? Hey, that's just an excuse for everything now, isn't it? Such a stringent. And it's about the social scientist who, which makes your. Because after I moved out, I thought, I'm not out of my fucking mind. I'm not going to order this. Which hours a certain show is on, and I get hate mail for everything, man. Are you kidding me? I'm still getting hate mail about shit I said in the first episode. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. Let's move on. What do you got?
Here's my...
True. Whatever they're being funded with their parents, to take improv classes or whatever.
Right.
Sure. So skewed my memory of my friends and things and people I grew up with in Utah. But I do notice in the comedy scene, there's a higher likelihood of these to an improv show I was at. Anyway, man, there might be something that goes into. So you have people. That's very interesting. This bit stuff. Mm-hmm. A group of menacing looking dudes. They may think that they'll come up. They'll pick guys who they think are kind of like menacing looking, right?
Sure.
And it's a total. They'll just walk up to these dudes.
What do you mean?
I know. I'm going down a rabbit hole here. But
baggy clothes, looking tough. They look like that because they're trying to look tough. They do, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so they walk up to these guys just sitting there minding their own fucking business. That this woman is sitting there sobbing, in for fear of her life, with a hoodie and a fake hand sticking out of the hoodie.
Copycat crimes. I can't do it.
Yeah, but Beavis and Butthead, there is a suspension of belief there.
It's almost like all these kids on YouTube are a problem.
All of them?
Because they're encouraging all this horrible behavior among each other. Right?
I don't know, possibly.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. It's Kelsey.
Tim Chang's, look, for all the hate that I have for Tim Chang's and his obnoxious sound drops, he did a pretty good job of mastering our track. For Tim Chang's, I think that it's a stylistic choice, and also he's limited by the amount of talent that he has.
Well, what won last week?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, good question, Dick. The biggest problem in the universe from last week, Tim Chang's problem was haters, and it came in first last week. She says, calling people haters. Before. The problem is with global warming, Dick, is that if the predictions are true, if the models are true, point is to try to prevent that. Like, you know the movie, I think it's called Cannibal Holocaust. I don't know that movie. Okay, there's a movie, I think it's called Cannibal Holocaust. It was banned in a lot of countries, supposedly. Maybe it's part of the marketing efforts. I don't know. But a lot of people thought that it was too real because they actually do kill animals in this movie.
Wait, real animals?
Yeah, they kill real animals in this movie.
Huh.
And some of the death and the violence in this movie seemed so real that for a lot of time people investigated. I think they investigated the creators of this movie to see if it actually was real. Turned out it wasn't.
Sure.
But if you watch a piece like that and you think that it's real and you come away thinking, well, I may have just witnessed a crime, I don't quite get what the fun in that is.
Sure.
That involves malice, but it's not premeditated. You may be prosecuted for that crime, and then Elmer Wayne Henley. Henley, if you don't remember, was sentenced to 6 consecutive life terms in 1974 in Houston for his role with the ringleader Dean Allen Corll in the murders of 27 young men. But there are at least 222 more serial killers. A common thing here. I have a theory. I don't know if this is corroborated by anything. These are the serial killers who came into adulthood around the time abroad and fight our battles, for whatever premise. People who are hired killers, essentially. What? Yeah. I guess is that the math? I don't agree with shutting down a freeway. But let's say that there was a protest that were to occur. A mattress or something that falls off causes a 10 car pileup. People's lives people's lives are destroyed. Specifically, a Trump rally that they were protesting because it's essentially attempted vehicular homicide. crybaby dipshits. So let's step back off our high horse for a second. Candy Randy must be blowing his lid right now. He'd be blowing his lid if he saw this.
It's not even here.
Not even here. No. We missed the guy. But anyway, speaking of
problems like Randy.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that transition. It got weird.
I thought you might not want to, buddy.
All right, guys, moving on. The biggest problem in the universe. Let me wipe my ass and I'll go to my computer.
With your phone.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, like it was like spackle. Like I was trying to get, anyway, like grout. You know how you get that stuff in there between grout? And it's there's this graph.
How comfortable is that bed? Shout out how comfortable that bed is.
So comfortable. Really comfortable.
All right.
Really comfortable.
Scream that sexier, please.
So comfortable.
Okay. All right. Moved. You know what? You know what, guys? I'm not. I don't need to. Well, never mind. Okay.
What were you gonna say?
All right, let's all take a jerk off break, and then let's come back and record more podcasts.
All right, Asterios, what's your problem?
Make America Great Again hats make way more than that, and they're all retards. But here's the thing, Asterios. Kids who might also feel like shit's kind of fucked up, and they want to read the information that I'm providing to them in a way that by simply dismissing him as being a liberal or dismissing a conservative for being conservative, like Bill O'Reilly or Sean Hannity or whatever, without really.
All right. Here's a good one.
We sound. I thought that. I think our voices have improved a lot. Anyway. Even though they are not persuaded by political satire, they then do research that does persuade them. And I myself have changed my opinion on guns a long time ago. I was opposed to guns, moderately opposed to guns, and because I was watching. And then I was watching
a sex change, and what happened?
No, so I was watching, I believe, The Daily Show, and it was right after a big gun tragedy. And they were doing a bunch of stuff on it, and I decided to look into it, and that's when I had a much more moderate view on guns. When I looked into the stats and found out that over 2/3 of the gun homicides that are reported are suicides.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty important stat that kind of gets left out.
Another huge majority is black teenagers killing other black teenagers.
Oh my, no.
What? That's not true?
I mean,
black on black
true.
Violence is a major problem.
Well, there's way more white on white violence. Why are you bringing race into it?
Oh, because it's a huge problem in the black community.
It's a huge problem in the white community.
It's not an issue with guns.
The majority.
Why are you upset about that?
Well, because you're bringing race into it. What does race have to do with guns?
No, it's not.
There's more black on black violent crime per the population.
Yeah,
right. But overwhelming.
It's a huge problem.
Yeah, but look
in that
at
community.
Exactly in that community, Sean.
Yeah.
So look at if you go to a place where it's predominantly black, like Inglewood or St. Louis or whatever.
Wait a minute. All I'm saying is,
well, let me finish this point. If you go to a place that's predominantly black, like St. Louis, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna have a lot of black on black crime because guess what? All the citizens who live there are black, or the majority are black. So yeah, you're going to see spike on black crime, but it's not that it's saying it's black on black is like saying, oh, it's white on white crime, because if you go to an affluent neighborhood and one person gets shot, the odds are going to be that the person who shot them is going to be white and the person who got shot is also going to be white because that's all the people who live there.
I'm baffled that you're taking this in this direction.
Right.
Right. My point was saying gun deaths is not an accurate representation of the violence inherent to guns. Like,
right.
There's way more gun violence that happens in urban black communities. That's not me making stuff up. That's the numbers.
But it's also saying like way more gun violence happens with people with penises. Way more gun violence happens with people who wear a certain thing. Right, but you chose to say black. Like, look, guys, I don't want to get into this because instead of saying black, you could have said poor. You could have said impoverished.
That's not true.
You could have said, it is true. It absolutely is true. There's way more gun violence in Compton than fucking Beverly Hills.
Yeah. No one would debate that.
And what's the difference? What's the predominant difference between Compton and Beverly Hills other than race?
Which part of this are you offended by? Just the race part?
Right. Why race? Why does race have to do with anything?
Because it's a different issue. It's conflating gun violence with a very different issue. That's a race issue.
It's not a race issue.
I would think that the different races have different issues they need to address.
Well,
like treating everyone like it's just the same and throwing up your hands is a little irresponsible when you're looking at the data.
The big variable isn't race; it's poverty.
Well, if you listen to most of the black leaders, they're very concerned about the black on black.
Of course.
Violence.
It's a huge
that's the
problem.
fucking headline. No, it's not true. That's the fucking headline. Those are the ones that get the headlines, like black on black crime.
I think you're way off on this.
You
No,
realize you're talking
absolutely
to two
not.
people who want to lessen black violence, right? Like, it's
oh my
not
God.
my issue.
What does race have to do with anything?
A lot of times it is tied to the poverty
It's
level
poverty.
as well.
It's always fucking poverty. You're not seeing. You go to a rich black neighborhood and the crime levels drop miraculously.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Miraculously,
No, I
the
agree
crime,
with you on poverty.
and even though they're black, the crime levels drop.
Yeah. There's not a lot of affluent black neighborhoods, though.
Right, but the one that's irrelevant. The ones that are the ones that are affluent and black, because there aren't a lot of black people. It's 13% of the population. So you're really going narrowing down 13% of the population.
Why are you so angry about this?
Because it involves race into something that has nothing to do with race.
I think you're thinking that we're being racist.
Yeah, I think so too.
That.
But you're choosing
black poverty is very different than white poverty.
We're getting way off. We're getting way off. I don't want to throw this whole episode out into this thing.
Why?
We can talk about this some other time
Why?
because this isn't the focus of this episode. We got a lot of stuff to cover. We can move on and we can talk about this some other time.
All right, we win. Me and Sean win the argument.
All right, great, bravo. All right. Anyway, so this article here from the Harvard Crimson. That is something, that entire procedure is something you would never see on the nightly news.
Well, wait a minute. So is that why you're saying they're not journalists?
No. That's why I'm saying that political satire is so important above and beyond changing people's minds. Why is it tasked? Why should political satire have to change people's minds?
That was what Aserio said. I don't know. He's not here to defend himself. That wasn't my
Are you
big
saying
wicked.
because he explained it in a really accessible way?
Yeah,
because he did in that respect, where they would never lay it out quite like that and show its absurdity in like a nightly news program.
Right,
I get that,
and I think that's what the Trump thing really gets to the heart of, because the whole thing.
I was really wanting to get through this without talking about Trump.
Oh, well.
Can we go back? Can we go back to black on crime?
Yeah. No, this is gonna be really tough then. But this article goes on here. Listen to this. Viewers have said, so the other thing is, he said that people who watch Colbert Report and Stewart are of a particular political persuasion. It says here, viewers of satire are more likely to watch and read traditional news sources as well, in addition to their satire sources, according to an article in Columbia Journalism Review. In fact, satirists often refer to other news sources to provide background of their critiques, and research suggests that increased viewership of political humor increases knowledge of current events, leads to further information seeking on related topics, and increases viewer interest in and attention paid to politics and the news. And then they said here, less than half of the viewers of The Daily Show and Colbert Report are liberals. In fact, 38% of the viewers of Colbert Report, as well as 41% of those watching Daily Show, consider themselves independents. These shows have roughly the same percentage of Democrat viewers as the New York Times and USA Today.
I think a lot more people nowadays, since they're so disillusioned with both major parties, they identify as independents a lot more than they used to.
People are very disenfranchised.
For sure.
Right.
Anyway, what do you got?
I got some.
Ever wonder why no one who anyone respects, like your father or Donald Trump, buys into that crap?
Your father. I'm equating Donald Trump to your father, right? Who everyone respects. Shithead.
No one respects. You're saying people do respect New Age crap or not?
No, I'm saying that you need to work on your reading comprehension skills. I'm equating father, who in the book Men Are Better Than Women, the father is about as respectful as you can get. I'm equating your father and Donald Trump. The joke there is that I'm implying Donald Trump is my father. That's the joke.
Okay. Good joke.
Another dick versus dick.
All right. Well, I guess you've always been a Trump supporter, I guess.
Of course, because he's awesome.
No one who anyone respects, like Donald Trump or your father, buys into that crap.
Why would I be shitting on your father?
I don't know. You're talking about the chick's father.
Yeah. Why would I be shitting on a father?
I don't know, man. You wrote the book.
But can you not see the difference? Like no one who anyone respects, no one who anyone respects, like your father. Everyone respects him.
The father clears it up.
Of course it does.
Look, I got a clip. I got a song for us. I'll take
Are
your
we
word
going to
for
make it to
I don't know.
101 episodes?
We'll see. We'll see. I got a song here.
What is it?
This one is really starting off.
I got a song here from Victor.
Because someone forgot to go to the P.O. box to get all these 100th episode presents.
Look at how much barbecue sauce is spilling out of that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm opening up a package here. We got a bunch of T-shirts here. Take a look at these shirts.
Okay.
And let's see if I got a note here. There are a bunch of shirts.
Oh, they're your shirts. They're Maddox brand shirts. Civil disobedience is still disobedience.
Oh, I think someone sent these in for me to sign them or something. Okay, never mind. Let's get to another package.
Are you sure they're not returns?
No, because I don't sell these from my online store. I sell these from my online store, but these aren't ones that I've shipped.
All right.
I know that was a joke.
Okay. Let's get to another package. Yeah, that's for sign. That's for signing.
Oh, thanks, Mandy.
I'll cut that package out.
Fine.
Sorry, Sean. There's gonna be a lot of stuff we're cutting out of this.
Yeah.
Oh wow, we got a lot of packages here. Look.
So this summer,
it sounds like what's his name? No, the guy's like
Kanye.
Folgers. Good to the last drop. You know who I'm talking about?
The Folgers Crystals coffee
No,
commercial?
the guy, the black guy, Warren something.
Why does race have to be brought into it?
I was right there.
All right. Today's show is brought to you by Harry's.
Because it is devastating when it happens. And to be able to function with addiction and Sean, you hit on a point here. You said that addicts. Yeah, I've seen it happen in friends of mine. Sean, so as an objective, narrator. No, what's the word?
$50 billion industry.
Oh my gosh!
Right?
Tell me about it. Half that spent out of my pocket, I think.
Women initiate 70% of divorces.